Women's birth control has done wonders for women of all adult ages, no matter sex, gender, race, etc. It has not only taken away the possibility of unwanted pregnancy, but has allowed them the freedom to pursue goals, careers, and dreams, and ultimately become financially independent from men. While all of this is indeed true, it is not the whole story. First, with or without birth control, a woman can become financially independent with or without a man. I don't know a single woman who wouldn't agree with that. But that isn't the only thing that such feminist groups lie about, such as the real purpose behind birth control. Before being prescribed a cycle of birth control pills, ladies are informed and warned of the possible side effects, including changes in menstrual cycles and possible neurological effects. What they are not told is just how drastic these changes can be, both on the body and on the mind. To better understand this, however, we must first look at how birth control began and its controversial history. Many people are unaware of the fact that Hitler's racial cleansing, which eradicated millions, was based largely on the eugenics movement that began here in America. Beginning in the 1900s, American eugenics was practiced in every state, particularly California, and was supported by a wide variety of prominent people such as Winston Churchill, Theodore Roosevelt, Herbert Hoover, Fabian H.G. Wells, George Bernard Shaw, John Maynard Keynes, and Sidney Webb. These individuals influenced others like sex educators Marie Stopes and Margaret Sanger. Sanger was a member of the Malthusian League, which focused on human population planning, and she was the founder of the American Birth Control League, which later became the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. After Hitler took eugenics to a whole new level, its practice in America had to be terminated. Being funded by the Rockefeller Foundation and favored by the many eugenicists who ran America, not all were terminated. With Nazi scientists and their families given citizenship in America, while other high-ranking officers were tried and killed during the Nuremberg trials, the U.S. gained the research and studies of German rocketry, aeronautical technology, and mind control. This led to America leading the way with NASA and the more clandestine MK-Ultra. Wartime director of Rockefeller's Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin and assistant to Dr. Josef Mengele, the notorious angel of death who conducted experiments with pathogens, poisonous and psychotropic substances at Auschwitz, Ottmar Verschuer had escaped denazification proceedings with the help of Franz J. Kallmann. Both men and other ex-Nazis created the American Society of Human Genetics, which organized the Human Genome Project. Kallmann also became director of research at the New York State Psychiatric Institute, which is attached to Columbia University in New York, the home to MK-Ultra experiments. The Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Munich was one of a few institutions in Germany funded by Rockefeller to study psychopharmacology and psychiatric genetics. The Rockefellers had also funded the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute of Anthropology, Human Heredity, and Eugenics, the Cold Spring Harbor Carnegie Institution for Experimental Evolution, and the Eugenics Record Office, all aiming for the same purpose of social change. So, did all of this just end due to an opinion change of the people who no longer saw eugenics and sterilization as wrong? Only a fool would think so, since this is the history of Planned Parenthood, which was directed by none other than Bill Gates Sr., of course, whose son would later keep in his father's footsteps, providing experimental vaccinations to the men, women, and even children for a supposed virus with a 99% survival rate. Planned Parenthood continues its eugenic practice by handing out a variety of birth control methods like acid hits at a Burning Man festival, with each one negatively affecting the mind and body of its unknowing patient. It is a scientific fact that women are prone to make more irrational decisions based on emotions due to their cyclically changing hormones. Men can be irrational without emotional cues, but even more spontaneous due to their sex hormones. While on birth control, many changes have been seen in women, such as becoming just as capricious as men when it comes to sex hormones. It was even mentioned subtly in a 2020 TED Talk on the effects of birth control that they do indeed change a woman's sex hormone levels, which create the experience of who they are as a woman. And by changing these sex hormones, they are changing the very person they were meant to be.